Hey everyone, and welcome to Comic Breakdown. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the content that we have coming out, because today we are getting into Future State Immortal Wonder Woman issue number 2. And this will be closing out the Immortal Wonder Woman line, so be sure you're all caught up on that. And if you're not, check out the link down in my description as well as the top of this video. It's a playlist that'll get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on with the Future State event. Now, in our last issue, we saw Darkseid making his arrival and taking on Superman and Wonder Woman. Now, this issue is taking place at the end of time, so there's not many heroes or villains or anything really left. It's really these three. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. Alright guys, so getting into issue number 2, we see Wonder Woman in the distant future, but this is taking place for her right now. So everything that happened with Superman and Darkseid is the past. And she lets us know that she's been searching for so long for something, anything, a clue that she might be going in the right direction, a sign that she's not alone. And as she's flying through space across the eons, she runs into an old piece of the Daily Planet. And she thinks to herself, this has to be a sign. What are the odds that she runs into ruins from her world in the infinite void? Someone has to be out there. And then this is when the Undoing makes its arrival, makes its appearance, makes itself known. And Wonder Woman has to run off yet again, because the Undoing is taking over everything. It's literally erasing all of time into nothingness. And so she's doing her best to outrun this. You know, she was once seen as a hero, once seen as a god, but these days she spent so much time running that she doesn't feel very heroic. She hasn't felt heroic in eons. You know, these are titles she never asked for, and neither did Clark Kent. When he landed on Earth, fate named him its Redeemer, and he knew no other way his whole life up until his last breath. And this is when we see him battling with Darkseid, and Wonder Woman doing her best to stop Darkseid from crushing Superman right here and there. But Wonder Woman standing toe-to-toe with this guy, and she is doing well at taking his punches, but at the end of the day, this is freaking Darkseid we're talking about. It is the Darkseid. It's not one of his clones. It's not one of his, you know, underpowered versions of him. This is the Darkseid. And this is when Superman comes down on top of Darkseid and they start battling. And Clark tells Diana, I'm sorry, as they fly into space. And he tells Diana to stay back, that this isn't her fate. And he drags Darkseid into the sun. And they battle like titans. And Diana wonders from time to time what his last words would have been, what his last thoughts were. At times, selfishly, she wishes that the thoughts were of her, but she knows it was of Earth, because in those last moments, he would need that strength to do what was necessary. And we see the sun explode. And when the sun exploded, everything went black. Their home was lost, Earth completely disintegrated, and no sign of Darkseid or Superman. And now, as Wonder Woman sits in the void, she looks around for any kind of symbol of hope. And then her necklace starts to glow, and she sees something off in the distance. But she worries about having hope, because the Legion of Superheroes, they once had hope as well, that together, as a team, they would be able to take down the Undoing, but they failed. And the Legion of Superheroes fell. And so as Wonder Woman makes her way, she sees a shining light in the distance. Believing it to be something or someone good, she makes her way over there, only to be met by the Spectre. And Spectre lets her know that Brainiac is long gone. And she asks if the Undoing is what got him. And he finds it very interesting that that's what she is calling it. And then she asks if we are the last two that remains. And he says yes. His curiosity about who might be still alive was the only thing that kept him around. He was able to sense that there was another life, but he couldn't tell who it was, and he had searched and searched, but it proved pretty futile. And then he realized he would just do best to sit and wait and let that individual come to him. And she asked if he's sure, like, are you sure it's just us? And he says yes, though it won't be just us for long. And he says, my existence was to exact vengeance, atonement. Without these things, In his mind, he's already gone. And Wonder Woman tells him, "You're right. You fulfilled your duty. There is no vengeance left to be served. Even the gods have left us at this point, and soon nothing will remain but peaceful quiet." And Spectre lets us know that it's only here, at the cusp of finality, that he realizes his existence means nothing. Revenge is a response, a reaction, but he should have been, like Wonder Woman, a beacon. And he lets her know it feels good to stand in your light one last time. And Spectre says this is almost like giving up. This is how he feels. He says he can't let go. He's been holding on for so long he doesn't know how to. And Wonder Woman tells him this isn't giving up. This is reconciling our ending. And she wraps him in the lasso of truth and tells him to submit. And his response is, "I should have done better." And with that, the Spectre is gone. And Wonder Woman face to face with the undoing as it makes its way and descends upon her. And she does her best to fight this thing off. The goddess of war and of peace, a harbinger of both submission and dominance. And yet no one will be there. No one will be there to see the ending of Wonder Woman. Alone, unmourned, able even to be forgotten. And as death grasps onto her, she finds the light. She always thought she would know when her time was up, that she would slip away knowing her death and meaning, that she would go peacefully, as she had prayed many others to do before her. But the will to fight on is a hard one to resist, and even ending it now is another word for change. And this is not the end of her story. This is not the end of their story. And from darkness comes light, from death comes light, from tempest comes calm, from silence comes truth. And with that, we see light reborn in the universe again. And when they look to the stars and dream and hope of new gods and their stories, of Wonder Woman, of endings, and of new beginnings. Alright, so that will be where this issue ends. And since we did cover Nubia in the last issue of Immortal Wonder Woman, we are going to cover Nubia in this one. And so picking up with Nubia, her and Grail are at some location, what looks to be Africa, because we have what looks to be the trees that are very indigenous to the area. You have giraffes and things of that nature, zebra, so on and so forth. And on this rock in front of Nubia, she sees the key from her Aunt Nancy's visions. It's whole, but somehow she doesn't know how. And Grail had only found 8 pieces, so she's not sure how she got the other piece. And this is when she activates the device. And this is when we see the arrival of Circe. And Circe was summoned here to help Grail. And so Grail wants to make a deal. Grail will give her this pendant, this talisman, that'll keep her grounded and anchored to this planet as long as she helps her with something. And so she needs to get something. She needs to get the tiara off of Nubia's head. The component she speaks of is protected by a powerful spell work that's tethered to this world, and she's not able to break it, and so she's hoping that she can. And the spellwork native that they refer to is Nubia herself. And so she works to get the tiara off of her head, the whole time telling her she will submit. And this is when we see a vision of this tiara. And this tiara was once whole. It was a powerful artifact that was broken down into pieces because it was so powerful. And it was used to keep a powerful force at bay. And so this tiara, this crown, has been passed down from one to the next. And this is when we see the tiara activate. And it's protecting her. And Circe's magic isn't working. She can't hold it for much longer. And we see Nubia rise, break out of her chains, and roar. And they are no match for her whatsoever. She manhandles these guys like they are nothing. And she told them, like, if you wanted to fight, you were going to find out. And now they are finding out that she is Nubia, Amazonian, proud descendant of Diana Prince. And then we're taken back to the Ebony Web, where she's sitting down talking to her aunt. And her aunt is telling her, you know, I was kind of vague with a lot of the details, but technically what you have on is a crown. It protects you. And she said it was more powerful than you can imagine. But like I said, she's been very vague about it. And she lets her know because her, and by proxy, it, hadn't come into contact with the other artifacts before, the other 8. The crown is enchanted, so the one who wears it can safeguard the pieces of the key, among other things. And so there's more to it. We know there is. There's something she's not telling us. But there's always a secret, isn't there? Some part of the story that people always keep to themselves that you'll have to continue to do some digging and find it out. But she's going to continue to play along. In the meantime, she hasn't steered Nubia wrong yet. And until then, she will continue to be the Guardian. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Personally, I have to say, you know, the Immortal Wonder Woman line, I really did enjoy. I loved it a lot. Yeah, she seemed a little underpowered compared to all this Dark Knight's death metal stuff, and she was super strong and godlike. But who knows what happened to those powers? You know, who knows exactly what happened along that storyline. This is literally the end of time, so anything could have happened in the hundreds of thousands of years that she's been alive. But yeah, all in all, I have to say it was an absolutely fun comic. I really enjoy Nubia. I love seeing her kick butt, and I love seeing Grail in here as well. And this is the only the beginning of our Nubia stories, so we can definitely expect to see some more as time progresses along. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you live in the Medford, Oregon area, check out Rogue City Comics. If you have iTunes or Spotify or any other podcasting services, check out Comic Breakdown and more. And until the next video,